chemistry between the two of them.
They're feeling good for this competition, and, you know, competition is competition.
He's waited long enough, and now he's got the right partner, and I really hope for them they do their stuff.
CTV proudly presents coverage of the 2005 BMO Financial Group Canadian Figure Skating Championships from the John Labatt Center in London, Ontario. And here was the scene earlier today at the practice arena, as the two main contenders in the men's category, Emmanuel Sandhu, two-time defending champ, has 3 titles already under his belt, prepares for the free skate tonight. Jeff Buttle doing the same thing on the practice ice surface, getting ready for competition tonight as well. He's been knocking on the door the past 3 years of the Nationals. Will tonight be his night? And welcome inside the John Labatt Center, everyone. I'm Dave Randorf. This is truly one of the special events on the Canadian sporting calendar, and Saturday night is the big one. Saturday night at the Canadians, nothing like it. We're expecting a big crowd here at the John Labatt Center, despite heavy snowfall in the area all day long, and they are going to see the pairs free skate final. Valerie Marcoux and Craig Bunson are the defending champions. They have the lead. And then the men, the free skate final with Buttle and Sandhu in the center ice spotlight. Last night, a new Canadian champion was crowned, and she is 19-year-old Joanie Rochette. In case you weren't with us, folks, she stepped out onto that ice behind me and knocked us out. Some are already calling it the best free skate in the history of Canadian women's figure skating, and it is definitively the best free skate anywhere in the world so far this year. Here's how it looked and sounded. The new Canadian champion, Joanie Rochette.
Very nice. Yes, what a start.
Her most difficult triple Lutz.
Hanging on. Showed the world at the Grand Prix final that she is world class. It's over. She will not be caught. Say hello to Canada's new champion.
Jennifer Robinson won 5 in a row. If Joanie keeps skating like that, she could go on an awful long run herself. She beats last year's champion, Cynthia Furuf. 2 women will go to the Worlds in Moscow later this spring, and that official announcement will be made tomorrow as you look at the top 6 in the women's category, which was held last night. Let's take it downstairs to Rod Black and Tracy Wilson, who have a very special guest.
Yes, we do, Dave. Joanie Rochette, who went to last year's World Championship, but you will go as a Canadian champion. How does that title sound?
The title is very important to me. I was very happy of winning this year. This was my goal coming here, and I'm just so happy that I could achieve it.
Joanie, it was such a convincing win last night. Does one moment stand out above the rest for you?
Yes, actually, when I landed my last double axel, my last jump, I was so excited, and I knew that I did the program that I wanted to do. This was a moment that I will never forget, just going into my footwork and with the crowd cheering me on, and also my last flying camel spin when everyone stood up. That was magical.
Here's some other magic. Just afterwards, backstage, who were you talking to at this point? You knew you had won.
Yes, I was talking to my mom because she came with all my family and she made a surprise to me. I didn't know they were all coming. So, and she was crying on the phone, so this was so emotional for both of us.
Joannie, you've always wanted to be a Canadian champion, so you've done that. What's next?
What's next? There's Worlds coming up, and I just want to do a really good job there. Maybe increase the technical level in the program as well. But Worlds and Olympics are the main goal now.
Think you can medal at Worlds?
I don't know for that. If I go out
It's already
there,
putting pressure on you.
no, I just want to skate good, and then we'll see what happens.
Well, you skated great here. 24 hours you'll never forget. Good luck at the World Championships.
Yes, I will never forget those moments, but tomorrow already we start back at zero, working for Worlds and training hard again.
Canada's new women's champion, Joannie Rochette. They'll crown a men's champion here tonight, and also the pairs champions. Much more to come. Debbie Wilkes will stop by for the pairs free skate. The final flight is coming up next on CTV.
They're still skating with power. They've still got some gas in the tank. Fasten your seatbelt.
Yeah, they could be on an airplane to Dortmund, Germany. Boy, they did it with the pressure on. And that was a year ago in Edmonton. Shining moment for Valerie Marcoux and Craig Bunton, who became the pairs champions of Canada. The final flight is straight ahead. Warm up for Annabelle Langlois and Patrice Arquette. They have finished second a couple of times now, and they are tired of silver medals. They want to turn silver into gold.
Nationals has just not been our competition.
National, it's before it was fun, but now I'm worried every time what's going to happen.
Nerves was never really our problem, but there are so many people that we help out and that we, in the juniors especially, or last year like Michelle Curry, that we want to see how they do because we train with them every year.
We are going there with one idea is to be on the podium, but with the highest step, and we're going to focus a little bit more towards us and anybody else around us.
The first year that we had Borders was in Montreal. Our coach, José Picard, at the time, was taking in a lot of the skaters from Newfoundland, and a lot of them needed a place to stay. I made it like 4 times already.
Living with Annabelle and Patrice was interesting because they used to do a lot of things in skating, but also a lot of things out of skating. Take you to movies and do a lot of different social things.
Taking Borders was a lot of responsibility, driving them, all those to the ring, going back, training, making their lunch, supper, go to bed, and do all those little things like.
And it started with 1 and ended up with 4 because we could never say no.
It's not just letting people stay at their house. I mean, just donating and giving things. I mean, I think pretty much all of our practice outfits that we have are Pat and Annabelle.
Yeah.
Coming here, I had no expectations for my skating, and so like I would go to a competition thinking if I could just make it through to the next one, and they would just keep on telling me like, you're gonna do really well, but you just need to believe that, right? And
For me, seeing Joey go from hardly anything to who he is now, it's such a cool thing. He's the most known Newfoundland skater is up to date, and we're just so proud of that.
Training with them, it's so great for us because we get to see what we want to amount to every day, so it makes us better.
I hope we've given a lot of hope to the younger skaters because me and Patrice didn't have that wonderful start. It took 4 years for us to be on the podium at National. So I hope that we've given hope to people who start, that they don't just think that if you don't make it the first year, you'll never be good.
Well, they are an inspiration. Annabelle Langlois and Patrice Arquette. They've got their own kids. Debbie Wilkes joins me now.
And now we know where we can stay in Edmonton, eh?
Well, you know, in many ways, Jamie Soleil and David Pelche also opened up their eyes and their arms, embraced them as they went to Edmonton and trained at the Royal Glenora Club.
Yes, and they are helping Annabelle and Patrice along the way to this what has become a very rocky road to the national championships for Annabelle and Pat. So I think a lot of people are part of their team, and a lot of people that maybe we don't know about.
Annabelle and Pat have been in the lead, and they have the last 2 years after the short program, they have not been in this position before, so they will skate last and will try to come from behind. Maybe this is a more favorable position for them.
Well, at least it breaks the pattern in their mind. They felt the last 2 seasons coming in as leaders after the short program that maybe they had it sewn up. This is an indication that to them the pattern has been broken, and now they've got to work very hard.
But let's talk about parity right now. And the pairs free skate, here are some of the skaters who have skated already. Putnam and Wirtz are leading, and they were 5th in the short program, 1st in the free skate, and some of the other teams that have already gone tonight as we get ready for the final flight. 1.5 points separating 1, 2, and 3 here.
Yeah, it's going to be a very tight race. Obviously, whoever skates those triple jumps are going to probably take the podium and maybe the gold.
Well, that's what happened in the short program. No one was landing the side-by-side triples, and
except the triple Lutzes.
Yeah, the kids did that. That's the key here tonight. Free skate to come when we come back. Greg Bunton and Valerie Marcoux will be on ice first. They will skate first. The defending champions will try to lay it down and see how everything falls after that.
This was the spot I always like to skate in, the best first out of the warm-up, particularly when you're in the last group. You get to set the standard for everyone. You get to have it over. The tension is left out of your body. Now you hand it right over to the next skater. Element will tell us where we stand with the triple jumps today. Val and Craig have a sequence planned. A triple toe with a double toe, a hop in between. Perfect. The sequence must have a rhythm between the 2 jumps. There can be no cross-cut and no more than 1 revolution on the ice between jumps.
And remember, when they won last year, the good, clean start for them was critical. So far, so good.
For most skaters, that first element is critical because it sets up your attitude that today is a good day. Backward outside death spiral, Craig holding with the reverse hand. Small stutter there coming out of the spin. Also, Valerie changing positions, adding to difficulty. Very close in the flying camel combination spin. A very crisp beginning has started to unravel a little bit.
You mentioned those little stutters during that earlier combination spin with the two of them. Get it back on the rails here.
Slight downgrade in the exit of the overhead lift too. This is the point with a minute left, slightly less than a minute left to skate. All athletes have to breathe, and Valerie nailed that triple salve throw. Deep breathing becomes vital. Gives you a second wind. Keeps the muscles under control.
Well, there may not be anything like the 4.5 minutes in a pair skate for the demands on the body and the lungs.
Well, and interestingly, Craig hung on to that final lift. All of Richard Gauthier's teams, it's a trademark move to have a difficult lift as the last element.
They hit their first side-by-side triples, but missed the second set. First team out of the block in the final flight. Valerie Marcoux, there's Richard Gauthier. Leaders after the short program, but again, separated by just a hair between the next team to skate, Wakamatsu and Fecteau, and Langlois and Arquetto.
It started out so beautifully, and then the second attempt at the triple toes went south. It took them that whole minute, including the exit out of this lift, the middle minute of the program, to try to recoup, to regain their strength. They did come back very strong, however, with this beautiful throw triple Salchow. An interesting entry. Valerie was absolutely determined. It was a beautiful program. The elements are very well spread out. They feed us sort of tasty choreographic bits throughout.
Boy, it requires your full focus, though. The world contending teams cannot slip up at all in those 4.5 minutes. And the hiccup there for Marcoux and Bunton will put them in first place at this point. 172.67. You have the short to the free. The free skate right now, 112.46. And that is the number, 172.67 for the teams to come.
Nos prochains compétiteurs représentent le Québec. Our next competitors represent Quebec. Utako Wakamatsu and Jean-Sébastien Fecteau.
There's a sign out here in the stands that says a Quebec sweep. Very possible with the fleur-de-lis beside the top three teams right now, including Utako Wakamatsu and Jean-Sébastien Fecteau. Great short program the other night. Very close second place.
And coming out of an early season of injury for both partners. They're opening with a throw triple Salchow. Triple twist. And if we haven't said triple enough, we got another one coming up. Side by side triple toes, double toe plan combination.
little trouble on the axle from Jean Sebastien.
They have exquisite elements. Group 5 axle lift, one arm, change of position, very creative exit.
Jean Sebastien used to skate with Valerie Sorette. Went to the 1999 World Championships, finished 13th. Taco is Japanese born, would require Canadian citizenship if they were to go to the Olympics.
Love the selection of music. It's so appropriate for the team. A carry lift may be part of one of the 3 lift elements. It must be held for a minimum of 3 seconds.
Very unique. Crowd loved it.
This is becoming a trademark move for them, called Shoot the Duck, part of the spiral sequence.
Team that has not been together long, and you mentioned the injury problems, but what a softness and polish they have. Not there, though.
Was that perfect matching? Try the back inside death spiral. Each death spiral named by virtue of the edge the woman is skating on. What is impressing me about this performance is not just the many exquisite elements, but they're not rushing from one element to the next. Coming into the final lift, one of the most unique in the competition, gaining speed. Group 3 off of the hip. Look at the flexibility, and watch as she tumbles without landing into the final position.
What a finish.
Love it.
Standing O for Wakamatsu and Fecteau. Landed their side-by-side triples, had trouble with the spiral. We'll see. With a lot of pairs teams.
And Manon Perron, also part of the teaching team at Richard School.
Of course, she was the coach of Joannie Rochette before Rochette changed coaches, and Utako Wakamatsu and Jean-Sebastien Fecteau had a lot of great stuff in this performance.
There's such an ease. She has beautiful positions in the air, but Jean-Sebastien is so stable on his feet. That makes it easy for her, and also creates an incredibly spectacular lift. He has, because of his neat feet, great ice coverage. But here's something weird going on in the back outside death spiral. Jean-Sebastien is holding with the reverse arm, but in attempting to get down, Utako let her leg swing open, flopped off the edge. And this, the final element, this amazing lift, so original. Very risky, very high difficulty.
They need 113.11 in this free skate to move into first. Does not look like they're going to get it. 106.19, second best free skate, second best team right now. Marcoux and Bunton lead. Remember, two teams go to the World Championships. And also, we're also forming the junior team for the World Juniors in Kitchener. Here is a team that is also in the running for this on the ice. Megan DeHamel and Ryan Arnold. Both of these skaters are having a very busy week skating in singles. Last night, Megan, tough spot skating last and crumbled in the spotlight. Did not make the national team for women. Has a chance to make it for pairs here. They begin in 4th place.
And Ryan skates later tonight in senior men's. You got to be in shape, eh?
Oh, do you ever. After this, Annabelle Langlois and Patrice Arquetto. Marcoux and Bunton lead.
Megan and Ryan have only been together since last summer, but very wisely have chosen to accentuate their very strong points as single skaters. So although they've got all the tricks, the lifts are not of the highest difficulty.
Oh, shaky, but they held on.
Slam on the landing of the triple twist. Here come the Lutzes again, the ones they were successful with in the short program.
But not this time.
And with so little history together, it's at times like this you don't really know how your partner is going to respond to adversity during the performance. Pair skaters will talk to one another when there are problems or when choreographic changes have to be made, but generally speaking, they don't speak. Latsu left. Kept its speed up throughout, but no changes in difficulty. More jumps planned here. Triple sow, double toe combination. Easy jumps for them as single skaters, but when one eye is on your own brain trying to do your best jump, the other eye has to be on your partner, synchronizing movement, creating a harmonious look.
Final minute now for this young team.
Pair skaters have all the options for footwork steps, all the turns, all the steps. They also have the ability to interlace the footwork section. Gives it more meaning, higher interest.
Hang on.
Now, the technical specialist will not even call that lift. It will get no base value because it did not turn and it did not get to full arm extension.
Again, two of the busiest skaters this week, and at the end of the 4.5, they just might be out of gas here.
Well, and you wonder how this is going to affect Ryan for his attempt at the senior men's free later.
Tough one for Megan DeHamel and Ryan Arnold. Again, the night and fourth. Tough one for Megan last night, too. One team to skate. Will this finally be the year for Langlois and Arquetto?
You just crash like the landing on the triple twist. Megan got the rotation done, but the exit was pretty harsh.
And it always looks easier from here, but you know, you've been down there before as a young skater, first time in the spotlight. You know, people are starting to know your name. That makes it even that much more difficult.
And with the successful side-by-side triple Lutzes the other night, I mean, they're in the record books. So suddenly what became kind of fun 6 months ago to try a few throws and a few death spirals takes on a whole new meaning.
Is there a point, and this happened with Salé and Pelletier, where you have to say, okay, we either concentrate on singles or we concentrate on pairs? When is that point?
I think they're at it. You really do have to dedicate yourself.
Megan's a former junior ladies champion of Canada. Ryan will skate later tonight in the men's event. And here we go. Marcoux and Bunton lead. Wakamatsu and Fecteau second. For the last 2 years, Annabelle Langlois and Patrice Arquetto, many people thought they were ready to become national champions, but they weren't. And they folded in the free skate. They were leaders in the short program. This time they come from behind.
The skaters have 2 minutes to assume the starting position from the time their name is called. It's become quite a little bit around here this week, just how long you can take to get started. Gentle, very romantic beginning. Nice stage. Now the goods. Throw triple loop. Throw triple toe. Two-footed landing.
A shaky start here again for Langlois and Arquetto.
Triple twist is usually one of their best elements. They've barely made it. Second attempt at a triple toe gone bad. Single axel for Annabelle. All the changes.
Now it's imperative to stay clean, because not only are they skating for a Canadian title, which may have vanished in that first minute, they have to try to get a second place
to get to the Worlds. They are Canada's highest-ranked international team.
But aren't the lifts beautiful? Confident. They make it look so easy. A nice break in the music, in the tempo of the music, will hopefully give them a chance to regroup, put the mistakes behind. A skater almost has to believe that at this point, I'm going to start over. Leap of faith. A move made famous by Underhill and Martini. There we go. Triple Salchow back on track.
A minute to go.
Maybe too little, too late. Beautiful choreographic piece, however. Nikolai Morozov constructed it. Although they're trying to put on a good show with facial expressions, it just does not have the fire that we're used to seeing from them when it's going well.
It's funny, they've long been the team that everybody expected to become a national championship team. They're a better road team. They skate better everywhere else except here at the Nationals.
It's almost like they've written the script themselves.
They would also like to erase that first minute. Marcoux and Bunton being congratulated backstage. We still have to get the official result. Safe to presume that Langlois and Arquetto just could not seize the moment.
And it wasn't like anyone was absolutely fabulous
No.
either. It wasn't like they had a long way to climb. They started out beautifully in that lovely lyrical beginning, but then 2 foot at the landing of the throw triple loop. Highlights definitely were the lifts. They're difficult, complicated, creative.
Again, a team that finished 5th in the world 2 years ago, 8th last year. Skates so well internationally as you watch the leap of faith. But does it have to do with the pressure cooker that is the national championship, or what is it?
I think for Annabelle and Pat, they worry themselves sick. I call it busy brain. You know, you're thinking about what if, what if, what if, instead of thinking, I don't really have a choice. I've trained hard, I've worked hard, I'm in the best shape ever, I've got fabulous material. I've got to do it. There is no choice.
And the judges now making their final decision. Remember, Wakamatsu and Fecteau are sitting in that critical second spot right now. 2 teams will go to the Worlds. This team is the highest internationally ranked team. They have more success at Grand Prix events than anyone else.
And it is a beautiful program. The transitions, the choreography, the way it's laid out on the ice, it is definitely world-class stuff. And in fact, I think from a program perspective, it's my favorite of all the senior teams. It has lots of texture and character, not skated very well tonight, not skated with fire, but still an exquisite program. But because they worried throughout, they were unable to deliver the program too. No expression, very lackluster.
It was funny though, they finished stronger than they began. You might have thought that
Finally came to.
Which, yeah, they get a little fight.
With the triple Salchow.
But look at the marks here. Elements marks, components, added to the short program, 104.07. Langlois and Arquetto are in 3rd place.
No trip to Worlds for them.
Wakamatsu Fecteau take the silver, and for the 2nd straight year,
Valerie Marcoux and Craig Bunton have laid claim to the Canadian Pairs Championship. 1, 2, 3, Quebec. Langlois and Arquette. Whoa. Is the Canadian Championship for them. Bronze medal this time around. Again, only 2 teams will go to the World Championship in Moscow. Marcoux and Bunton, first to skate in the final flight. They weren't perfect. Nobody was perfect, but good enough to hang on.
I'm happy for Valerie and Craig. They certainly were the most consistent of everybody, won the short program and delivered probably some of the best results in the free, but it certainly wasn't a walkaway.
All right, let's go down to Dave Randorf.
And I'm with the defending champions who've done it again, back-to-back. You know, we did this interview a year ago, and you guys were just as surprised as anybody to be standing here on top at the end. Not this year, though, aren't Craig?
Well, to tell you the truth, it wasn't the performance we were looking for. I think both of us, this was, I think, it was pretty nerve-wracking for us this week. It was pretty tough to get through, and it wasn't quite what we were looking for, but in the end, I guess we got what we wanted.
You got what you wanted, but you're right. It's different to being the defending champion. The expectations and the pressures are different, aren't they, Valerie?
Yes, of course. We try to say there's no pressure, no stress. We try not to let it bother us all week, but it was really hard on us all week. We were stressed. We were not performing as well as we do in practice every day, so... But, I mean, we try our best tonight. It wasn't a good program, but I guess it was enough, so we'll take it.
Oh, yeah. And now you'll prepare for the World Championships. Congratulations. Valerie Marcoux and Craig Bunton, Canadian champions again. Fecteau and Wakamatsu also in second place and likely punching their ticket to Moscow.
Oh, that's great. But the client wants to move the meeting up to Wednesday. Get the team together, you pick up the reports and leave the rest to me.
So, we were used to seeing perfection from our pairs a few years ago. What's happened?
There's a reason, a very good reason. It's the quality of the skating. It's the level of difficulties. We are asking more and more and more of these kids, triple everything everywhere. It's not just about pair skating anymore. It's about single jumps, too. And that's up the ante.
And how do we get a team ready for the World Championships? Because you know those other teams do have that.
Well, it's 2 months away. So there's still a lot of training. There's still a lot of thinking about it. And there's still a lot of alterations to come, I'm sure. They won't look the same by the time they get to Worlds.
Well, surprise, surprise. Again, Wakamatsu Fecteau get a shot at the World Championship and not Langlois and Arquette. Coming up next, Tracy Wilson will be back. We'll have the men's free skate from London and the 2005 Nationals.